The biggest challenge for the White House, for the national security folks in the White House, is making sure that diplomacy and sanctions are kept front and center when it comes to the bilateral relationship with North Korea, but that they do maintain the credible threat of military force, because that's what everything else hinges on. I really think that's what General McMaster and Ambassador Nikki Haley and even President Trump in his own way are trying to do here.
You do.
I do. People accuse them of ratcheting up everything, but it's really the North Korean regime that has ratcheted up the threat of military force, not the United States. They're simply responding and reacting in the smartest way they know how.
I thought Nikki Haley said two interesting things. Perfectly happy to allow James Mattis to manage this, essentially, is what she said, which is a very interesting comment from her. The other thing is that she admitted pretty much the UN Security Council has pretty much done everything it can do, and look, Gillian, where it has gotten the issue.
Well, she's right on both counts. On her comment, I actually laughed when I heard her comment. I'm sure she'd love to hand that part of her portfolio over to the Department of Defense, right? This is the hardest diplomacy that any diplomat will ever have to face, is negotiating this treacherous path with North Korea. So I'm sure she was being genuine when she said, I'm happy to hand this over to General Mattis. When it comes to General McMaster coming forward and saying, we've got military options on the table, Mattis has military options on the table, he's just stating the obvious. I don't think there's anything new, there's anything controversial even in saying that. The Trump administration, remember, believes that up until this point, diplomacy has failed when it comes to North Korea. So they believe that a first step in sort of testing what will work is ratcheting up the rhetoric, and that's what they're doing. You know how they work on the East River here in Manhattan. Do you think he or she or others, really he this week, because the attention's on him, can he move these leaders even further than they've gone already? Or do you believe a week from now we're still back at this North Korean stalemate with Kim Jong-un calling the shots? There's an opening here for the president to really make a difference, because it's UN General Assembly week, which is the most important week for U.S. foreign policy, bar none, in the rest of the calendar year, but also because 1 week ago today, the UNSC voted to implement the harshest, most devastating round of sanctions that they have ever voted on before. So these are now in place against North Korea. It's incumbent upon President Trump to really convince and rally the member nations that voted for these sanctions to stand by them. We cannot allow North Korea to find sneaky ways to sidestep them like they have done in the past. If President Trump can get the rest of these countries to uphold the sanctions, then that could be a breakthrough for us.